Hello and welcome to another Bodgit and Leggit video. Now behind us we've got a 2005 Renault Dispatch and we have brake problems. Now it doesn't really matter what's behind us because it's more or less the same on most cars. There is going to be some exceptions out there, but on most cars it's more or less the same. Customer complaint is his brakes don't seem to work properly. He has a brake pedal, but he said they're basically not stopping him. So he's had a bit of work done as well for a DOE, I believe. So there's been pipes replaced at the back. I think there's been brakes replaced, and he's replaced pumps, the vacuum pumps on the side of the engine, and it's still the same. So this is what we've basically got to work with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some checks we can do, go through the whole braking system. We're going to use Vlad the Bleeder, and we're going to also use another tool. This is the new Hobby Tools brake boiler tester. So we're going to go through the whole braking system, and like I've said in previous videos, the only real way to test brake fluid is to boil it. It could just be a case we need to change the brake fluid. The brake fluid could have a lot of water and it just needs replacing or flushing, and it could be fine. We could have a leak. I just don't know. The only thing I have checked, because it's very difficult to do on camera, is the brake pedal. The engine is off. I press the brake pedal down and it goes hard. It doesn't keep going down. If it keeps going down nice and slowly all the way to the floor, it can normally indicate either a leak somewhere, or it can normally indicate a master cylinder problem or something along them lines. The brake pedal just goes hard and stays hard. So that's a good thing, because the master cylinder, all that is absolutely buried down there. A nightmare to get to. So what we're going to do is we're going to hook up Vlad the Bleeder first. You can see him, he's down there. So Vlad the Bleeder, let's get him up and put pressure on this system and see if it holds. Now the best thing about using something like Vlad the Bleeder is I don't have to really put this on the lift. Well, unless we find a problem, of course. I can just put it on, turn the pressure up. I'm going to maybe put it to maybe 1.5 bar, and I'm just going to turn it off, and I'm going to leave it sitting there and see if the pressure basically after a few minutes dies down. If it doesn't, we know we haven't got a leak and we can continue our diagnosis. But before we do that, what I want to do is I want to boil the brake fluid and see exactly what condition the brake fluid is first. It's pointless doing anything else because it could just be our brake fluid that we need to change. And if it is, good old Vlad the Bleeder will sort us out. Sorted. Now, I will be doing a separate review on this, but it just happened to come at the right time. We're going to do the job. Sorted. So what we're going to do first is we've got a little syringe and we need to suck out some of the brake fluid that's in there, and then just remove this little gauze. So I'm just going to remove the little gauze, and I'm just going to suck out some of the brake fluid and put it in there. Right, so we've sucked it out, and as you can see already the colour doesn't really look very good. So what I'm going to do is just squirt it into the pot. You don't want to overfill it. What we need to do is just get it, don't let that fall, just get it to the fill line. There's a special fill line on this, so I can just bang that in and see where the fill line is. What I should really do, I had that full, so I'll know exactly the measurement for next time. Right, just let that go out. What we need to do is put this on the car, on the battery, and we need to start it. Well, from the sounds of that, we've got other issues too, but I'm only here to do the brakes. So, put this on the battery. Really nice coloured display. Let's get you a bit closer. I really like that actually. That's very fancy. Let me just put this in here and check it, and I'll get you closer. Just put it in, press the button, Now, it's failed. Just zoom in here. Hopefully you can see that now without too much glare. There we go. We've got .4 in here, which should be a minimum of 155 degrees, and it's only taken 138 degrees to boil it. So it's failed. Now, hopefully you can see that without too much glare. Like I said, I will be doing a full review on this, but at the bottom here, it gives you .3, .4 and .5.1 and what it should be. And the minimum, because that's what it gives you, I believe it's the minimum anyway, it has to be the minimum. 155 degrees, we got 138. So this brake fluid has failed. But what we are going to do is, I'm just going to pull this back for the minute, and I'm just going to put Vlad the bleeder on, and I'm going to make sure the system isn't leaking, because I don't want to ring the customer up and say, right, you just need brake fluid, and then for me to do the brake flush, and then, oh, by the way, you now need this, you now need that. I want to try and get the full picture before I ring him, because I don't want to keep ringing him and saying you need this, 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 and this, because it just gets messy and it just doesn't look good. So yeah, I really do like that. A lot more fancy than my other one. Let me hook up Vlad and we'll continue. Okay, you can't quite see, but we've got our connection on top of our reservoir, and then we go to Vlad, who is down here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to turn the pressure up to about 1.5 bar, and I'm going to turn Vlad off then, and I want to see if it leaks pressure or it holds pressure or whatever the case may be. That will then tell us if we've got a leak of some description or something. We have an issue somewhere. Let's just turn that off before we switch it on. Tell you, the right jobs, the right tools when you're on your own certainly make things easier. Right, let's crank up the pressure. Good to start. I don't want to overload the system, so just move my head in the way. 20 psi there. Just gonna let that run for a few seconds, turn it off, and see if it holds. Right, let's just turn it off. And that went down to 1 bar. That's not necessarily a problem at the minute. Let's just see if that can hold pressure. So I'm going to give that a few minutes. We'll turn the camera back on and we'll see what happens. Right, it's been about 5 minutes and it hasn't budged a millimeter, but I just want to put a bit more pressure on it. I don't know if I can do it in the sense of the way it works. When I turn it off, will it hold or will it just go down to a bar? No, it won't. That's what I wanted. Perfect. So I can just see that's on the line of the 20 there. Again, I'm going to leave that now, and if this doesn't move, then I'm happy enough that the system has no leaks. Right, okay, it hasn't moved at all, so I'm happy enough that that is actually fine. So we just release the pressure now. Make sure all the pressure's gone. Now we can disconnect it. I'm going to have to ring the customer, just tell them what I found, and get a bit more information out of him and see what happens, because I'm not exactly sure what is actually wrong with it, because he just quickly left it. He sent me a message. I haven't really had a chance to speak to him, but I wanted to do this first just to rule out some simple issues first. Right, the reason why I did that, a couple of reasons. One, I have the tools. It makes it really, really easy to do. And two, I was told he said he had brake lines. He had a few bits done with his brakes and vacuum pumps and stuff, and I just wanted to check the system. There's no point me going any further until I knew the system was sealed. So, and as you can see, it's very, very quickly. It took longer to wait just to make sure the pressure is okay, even though, to be fair, if you have a leak, you'll see it going down either really quickly. I had another video where it just went down instantly, or you'll see it creeping down. So in all fairness, I didn't really have to wait that long. I was just kind of being on the safe side. We know the brake fluid isn't great. Minimum boiling point 155, we've got 138, so it's not great. It does need a flush. Now, I'm speaking to the customer and got more information out of him, and completely different to what he said to me this morning. Essentially what's happening is he's saying his pedal is going hard and juddering, vibrating. So in other words, what it sounds like to me is the ABS is kicking in when it shouldn't do, which is causing the pedal to go hard and basically making him think he's got no brakes. I think he does have brakes, but with, you know, the way the pedal feels, it just might not feel great. So what we're going to have to do now is we're going to have to get the old scan tool in. I don't know what diagnostics we can do with this. See if we can read the sensors through the diagnostic. If not, we're going to have to go through each one manually, which is a bit of a ball ache, and see what's going on. But hopefully I can just plug it in, take it for a drive, and I can see if there's a sensor acting up, and then we can go from there. Sorted. Transfer into my phone because it's easier. So just go into read faults, see if there's any faults. No, didn't think there would be. No faults in the system. Live data, wheel speed information. Above 90 miles an hour, the ECU is no longer to communicate. Oh, great. So we can only go 19. How are you supposed to diagnose a system if you can only do 19 miles per hour? Hopefully it acts up within that speed range. What I'm going to do, let's just start it to see if anything happens as we start it. If it starts. Right, nothing happens. Let me get set up and then we can drive down and see what happens. I'm just going to go into the brake switch side of things, just see if it's going to recognize it. Brake press is pressed, reset, yeah. Okay, so we've definitely got communication for the module, or we've got something anyway. Now, let's go back to the wheel speed sensors. This is going to be awkward. Let's see if, yes, we know 19 mile an hour. Just do it in the yard. Let's see what we can do. Nothing. Ooh, I couldn't see that. Let me see if I can go back on the camera. Right, let's see if this will work now. When does it start detecting? We're moving now and it's not detecting. There we go, 14. Oh, right hand dropped out. I'm gonna have to graph this. Oh, they're dropping out. Well, unfortunately I can't graph them all at once, but there was a couple that dropped out. So let's just see if we can get that done again. Raw reading. Left hand one dropped out there, dropped out again. Right hand one again, left hand one. Right, so that was the right hand front and the left hand front. Let me go back in the camera and see what happened the last time. So I don't know what's been done to this, like I said, and I don't know, you know, if another shop has done it. Did they have to, you know, stand over? I just don't know. So what I'm going to do, I got on the lift, we're going to lift it up, we're going to see if we can physically see anything. What I'm guessing is because they are working and then kind of going out, I'm thinking maybe a bit of rust jacking's going on, maybe a broken ABS ring. I don't know if this is an ABS ring or a magnet pickup on the wheel sensor. I'm not sure yet, can't remember off the top of my head. So we could have a damaged wheel bearing, it could just need 2 wheel bearings, which I just don't know what he's going to do because it's kind of an old rattly van, as you can see. and I don't know what he wants me to do, but let's see if we can figure out what's wrong. Right, so we're underneath it. Oh, that's it, kick the camera. There we go. You can see the ABS ring now, and I can already see a problem. Can anyone see a problem before I say anything? Even looking at it there? Yeah, it's too close to here, so I have a feeling this is broke or moved or something. I want to get the scope out. And see exactly. Oh, I don't need to get the scope out. Boom, there we go. That is broke. Right, so that's his problem. He's going to need 2 new CV joints because the boots aren't great. The boots are about to pop, but yeah, it's just easy to stick 2 new CV joints, or 2 new CV boots, or 2 new CV joints in this bad boy. Well, hold on, I say 2. Let's look at the other side. Well, hold on, we might be able to get the scope out after all, because that ring's in a lot better place. As you can see, we've got a gap. Oh, my hand's in the way. We've got a gap between the ring and the hub now. So, well, we're looking good. Might be able to get the scope. Boom, there we go. Another crack. Game over. That's what it needs, people. Right, so there we go. That's it, sorted. Still the valid test of testing the brake fluid first and making sure it's not leaking. That's because I can do it in seconds, might as well do it. The right tool for the right job. I was kind of hoping getting the old Pico out to give you some waveforms, but it's just absolutely pointless. And I know I'm going to get people saying, oh, you could just change the ABS ring, blah, blah, blah. As far as I know, you cannot buy ABS rings here. You just can't. You definitely can't buy them from the main dealers. And I've never ever seen one for sale in the manufacturers. And not only that, the boots look bad. They're old. Just change them. I know I'm going to get people saying, oh, you only need to change. Look, just change them. Just believe me. Change them. Stop trying to be a cheapskate. Just change them. If you want your brakes to work properly, which is important, because at the minute, these brakes just aren't working. It was locking up on me even doing like 10 miles an hour. The ABS was kicking in, and the pedal goes rock hard. It just doesn't know what it's doing. So that will fix this. We know also, because there was work done to it, so I needed to know, you know, was it leaking? Is the system okay? Blah, 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 because I wasn't sure. There's lots of parts been changed. He said he's put 3 vacuum pumps in it. I don't know if that's 3 vacuum pumps over its life, or I just don't know. All I know is they're cracked. I think we're going to get away with just the ABS, even though I can see that slightly hit. It slightly hit the ABS ring, or the ABS sensor, but they are still working. So I'm not worried about them because they are still reading. So yeah. That's it. That will kind of go through any vehicle really. Brake check, you know, system check to make sure there's no leaks. That'll kind of do everything. What I was going to do, if I didn't really find anything, I was going to put my smoke detector on the brake system and see if it's leaking or anything, because sometimes when it's leaking, but again, I didn't hear any leaks. The pedal didn't feel like it was leaking, but that's another thing you can do. And that's it people. So look, hope it helps. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Don't forget, links up here, links down below. Don't forget, check out my Instagram, Facebook, Patreon, all that. But most importantly, don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one. Sorted. Right, let's see how many real fans we've got. Let's see how many people actually wait till the credits are over and then watch this. It's dangerous at the minute for me to let this go out this way because of the, you know, the ABS is all over the place, the pedal's going hard and everything. So what I've done is I've smashed off the ABS rings. What that'll do is that will throw on the light, or it might not, just depend on this system, but at least the car will revert back to old brakes and the pedal should feel 1,000,000 times better, which is 1,000,000 times safer. You can see the rust jacking inside the ring. You can just see how much rust is there, and essentially what's happening, the rust just build up and crack the ring. So that's why you can't change these, because the CV joint is going to be bigger than what the ring is. So I know I'm going to get people saying, oh yeah, should I done that? I'm just going to say, watch the end of the video, you tit, because you didn't watch it, did you? Fucking moron. And that's why you can't just bang a new ABS ring on, even if you could get them. So I've smashed it all off. Be careful when you do that so you don't break the ABS sensor. And this van now, yes, it's not going to pass any tests, but it's going to be a lot safer for the customer to drive it until he decides what he wants to do with it. So there we go. Sorted.